Hello, dear grade 7 students. Today's lesson is 5.4, expand expressions. So, the learning intention of today's lesson is to expand expressions using the distributive property. In order to do that, you guys, by the end of this lesson, will be able to identify the distributive property. You will be able to simplify expressions using the distributive property. And finally, you will be able to apply the concept to solve real-world problems. The vocab words that you guys should focus on in this lesson is the distributive property, of course, like terms and unlike terms. So let's move on. So we have here a real life application, but before we move on to start solving it, to understanding it, I want to remind you guys of the rules that we use to multiply, divide, subtract, and add integers. So let's recall the rules that we use to add and subtract and multiply integers. I'm gonna recall them here quickly. Okay, so as you guys know, for multiplication and division, we are using the faces, okay? So same sign. Sorry guys, okay. So same sign, we are happy. When you multiply or divide two negative integers or two positive integers, the sign will be the product or the quotient will be positive. Different signs, we are sad, okay? So remember this rule. For multiplying and dividing, we use the faces. Same sign, we are happy, positive. Different signs, we are sad, negative, okay? Let's move on. And for adding and subtracting, for addition and subtraction, you guys, we use SADS, okay? I believe you all know what SADS. SADS means same sign, add and keep. Different signs, subtract and take the sign with the larger absolute value, or you can say the greater number, okay? Remember the poem. There is a poem about it on YouTube. Same sign, add and keep. Different sign, subtract, okay? Take the sign of the greater number, then you'll be exact. So let's move on. Let's move on to our word problem. So here we have architects are designing a heritage museum in Sharjah with a rectangular floor plan. The museum, it has a length of 9 meters and the width is 4x meters. So here they're asking you to find the perimeter. Okay, so you guys, in order to solve this problem, we have two ways. We have the way that we studied in 5.3, simplifying expressions, which is to use the meaning of perimeter. Perimeter, you guys, is adding all the sides of an object, okay? Finding the total distance. The meaning of perimeter is to find the total distance around any object. In order to do that, you should be adding all the sides. So if this side is 4x, the opposite side will be 4x. If this side is 9, if the length is 9, then the other length will be 9, because opposite sides in a rectangle, they are parallel and equal, okay? So let's find the perimeter the easy way. So the first way is just add all the sides. We're gonna start from here. 9 plus 4x plus 9 plus 4x, okay? Then the thing that you guys should do after is combining like terms. So we have here 9 goes with positive 9. So 9 plus 9, the answer will be 18. Next, we have 4x goes with 4x. So 4x plus 4x, that will be positive 8x. Okay, so that's your perimeter. The perimeter is 18 plus 8x. Okay, that's the first way. In order to simplify the expression, you use shapes, okay? Put the like terms in the same shape. 9 and 9, they're both constants. Constants is just a number. 4x and 4x, they're both like terms because they have the same variable raised to the same power, okay? Now, let's move on to the other way. The other way is, that's the first way. The other way is, instead of adding 9 2 times, and instead of adding 4x 2 times, we can just say the perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So we're just going to multiply 2 times the length is 9 plus 2 times the width is 4x. And that's it, you guys. Now we just do the math. 2 times 9 is equal to 18 plus 2 times 4x, that is equal to 8x. Okay? So you guys remember the multiplication signs. I repeat again. If you have nothing between the letter, between the variable and the coefficient, this means multiplication. For example, 2L, you can write it like that, or you can write it using a dot multiplication like that, or you can write it using parentheses. So always remember, you guys, which operation you cannot see, that will be multiplication, okay? So this is the 3 ways that we write multiplication in. So that's it for this word problem. This is how you guys find the parameter. It's explained in details in the PPT. This is the first way. You just add all the sides. The second way, we used here the distributive property. Actually, I distributed before I used the distributive property. And instead of saying directly it's 2L plus 2W, how did we get it, guys? We got it because it's 2 times the length plus width, okay? This is the original way to write it, but I skipped to this way. I skipped to the directly after I distributed it. So this is from where we got it. You just distribute 2 times L plus 2 times W, okay? So that's it for the distributive property. Now, let's understand more. Let's talk more about the distributive property. It's not that's it. You have a lot. Okay. So, the first thing that you guys should know is to expand expressions. When you have an expression like that, you guys need to expand it. Okay, what does it mean to expand it? Expand it means to write it in a different way, to simplify it more. You need to multiply the number that's outside with each term inside the parentheses. So in order to expand expressions, you guys remember this. We use what? Remember the sentence clearly. To expand expressions, we use the distributive property, okay? So please remember this sentence. To expand expressions, we use the distributive property. So what does that mean? How do you apply the distributive property? Basically, to use the distributive property, you just simply multiply. So you have a number outside the parentheses, you're gonna distribute it to both terms inside the parentheses, okay? So the number that's outside, we are going to multiply it with each term inside the parentheses. So we have here a 3, next to a parenthesis, we have here the hidden operation multiplication, okay? So let's start. I'm gonna distribute the 3 with n, so it's the same as a 3 times n, and then it's plus, you always put a plus, okay? Then it's a plus 3 times positive 7, okay? 3 times positive 7. You take the term inside with its sign. You take the variable, the number, the constant, whatsoever with its sign. This is the easiest way to distribute directly. So don't confuse yourself about signs. Always put signs in between. Always put pluses between, and then take when you multiply the number outside with the inside, take it with the sign, okay? So I just took, it's the same as a 3 times n plus, I'm gonna put it no matter what. You always put plus, a 3 times positive 7. So it's the same thing as this one. And then you guys do your math. 3 times n, that will be 3n because we don't know the value of n. And plus 3 times 7, that will be positive 21. So this equation, this question here is easy because the signs, you don't have negatives. It's all positive, okay? So let's move on to the second one. Okay, the second one, I'm gonna do it in a different way to show you guys what I mean with always you put plus. So let's put it here on the side. It's 4 times x minus 3. Let's apply the distributive property. Use arrows. Always use arrows to help you know how to distribute the 4. You're gonna multiply the 4 with what? Again, distributive property means you multiply. You multiply. The operation that you're gonna do is multiplication. So let's start. This is the same as 4 times x plus. This is what I mean. You always put a plus. Make it easy for yourself. Don't confuse yourself with the signs. Just put a plus. Okay? Now here, I'm going to multiply 4 times what? you will take the number with its sign. Look at 3. What's the sign of a 3? Okay, we always said the sign is written just right before the number. Here we don't think of it as subtraction. We think of it as the sign of the integer that's after it, okay? So it's 4 times negative 3, okay? Again, I repeat, always put pluses and then take the number outside with, multiply it with the number inside along with its sign, negative or positive. So now let's do the math. 4 times x, that is 4x, plus 4 times negative 3, that will be negative 12. And that's your answer. You can leave it like that, or you can rewrite it because, you know, positive and negative, we will rewrite it as positive times negative. At the end of the day, it's negative. So we're going to rewrite it as 4x minus 12. And instead of having 2 signs, let's just keep it one sign. Okay, which is, what's the sign of a 12? That's negative. So the final answer will be 4x minus 12. Okay, this is how you guys write it. You can leave it like that, or you can write it, go all the way till the end and write it in simplified form. Now, as you can see here, 4x and 12, you cannot, they are unlike terms. So you guys, you cannot combine them. So that's your answer in simplest form. Let's move on here to this question. Let's do one more. Again, we're gonna apply the same steps. Distribute, okay? So I have negative 1/3 times y plus, like I told you guys, we always put a plus no matter what, so you don't get confused whether the coefficient outside is negative or positive. Okay, negative 1/3 times, look here, what's the sign of x? As you can see, x is negative, so we're gonna take negative x. And now let's apply the integers multiplication and division rules. Let's go. How do you multiply this? It's negative 1/3 times y. That will be negative 1/3 y. That's it, because we don't know what's the value of y. And negative times positive, according to the faces, it's equal, different signs, you get negative. Okay, guys? Plus, always keep it. We don't have nothing to do with it. Okay, negative 1/3 times negative x. We all know that negative times negative, it's a positive. 1/3 times x, that will be 1/3 of x. So your final answer will be negative 1/3 y plus 1/3 x, and that's it. So here you guys remember, the number outside that you need to distribute is negative. So always keep in your head that negative, once it enters the parentheses, it will change all the signs. Y, for example, if we hide it, if we hide the 1/3, y was positive. When the negative enters, y will turn into negative. And this is what happened. Y became negative. X is negative. When the negative enters, x will turn into positive. And this is actually the same thing that happened. X became positive because negative times negative equals positive. Okay, so you guys do it this way, it's easier. Always put pluses. Don't confuse yourself with the signs, whether the number outside is positive or negative. Just do this way. It works for all the questions. Okay, now let's move on. Let's take another example. So here we have 3 terms, but that's okay, who cares? Let's apply the same steps and we will be just fine. Let's expand the expression. Again, how do we expand expressions? We use the distributive property. So I'm gonna use arrows to help me. I'm gonna multiply 2/10 with 1, then with 2x, and then with 2. Let's start doing it. So negative 2/10, you guys focus with the signs. 2/10 is negative, so you take the sign with it, times 1. Next, I'm gonna put plus. So I have 3 terms, I'm gonna put 2 pluses. Okay, negative 2/10 times, as you can see here, the sign of 2x is negative. Look at the sign of 2x, that's negative. So it's gonna be negative 2x. Plus finally, negative 2/10 times 2. Okay, now let's do the math. Negative 2 times 1, that's negative 2 over 10. Okay, because here the denominator, we consider it as 1. Then it's just multiplying fractions. Top times top over bottom times bottom. Okay, 2 times 1, that's 2. 10 times 1, that's 10. And the sign will be negative because they are different signs. Next, plus. The same thing I'm going to do. You can add 1 to it and do the math. 2x times 2x, 2 times 2x, that will be 4x. Okay, 10 times 1, that will be 10. And the sign is going to be positive. Okay. Okay, next plus. You can do the same here. 2 times 2, that's 4. And 10 times 1, that's a 10. And the sign will be negative. And now, as you notice here that we have like terms, we can simplify more. After we expand in this equation, in this question, we can simplify more by combining like terms. I notice you can use shapes. I'm going to highlight them. I noticed that negative 2/10, as you can see, negative 2/10 and negative 4/10, they are like terms because they are both constants. So we can simplify them. Okay, let's apply the SADs. They are both same sign, so we are going to add 2 plus 4, that's a 6, and the denominator stays the same. And the sign will be negative because same sign, add and keep the sign. Add and keep the sign. Okay, next, this one is, as you can see, it doesn't have any other like term like it, so we're just gonna copy paste it. Plus 4x divided by 10. Okay, and you can simplify more, but that's okay if you leave it like that. By what I said, you can simplify more. You can here 4x divided by 10, you can simplify it by dividing by 2, dividing by 2, you know, writing it in simplest form. And here you can divide by 2, but that's okay, keep it like that, no need. Okay, you guys, and this is how you expand expressions and then simplify. So please pay attention whether you need to simplify after or not. Do you have like terms that you can put together or not? Okay, let's do this one, another problem. So we're gonna distribute, use arrows. And now let's do the math. This is 4 times 3 plus 4 times 4x plus 4 times, be careful here, you got what? You have negative 2. 4 times negative 2. Now let's do the math. 4 times 3, that's a 12, plus 4 times 4, 16, and x, you just copy paste it, plus 4 times negative 2, that is negative 8. Okay, let's write it without using two signs. Let's keep one sign only. 12 plus 16x minus 8. You can write it like that or like that. Okay? Okay, so that's it for their questions about how to expand expressions. Distribute means to multiply and then combine like terms. That's it. Okay, here, what did you do? Here we have a real life application. As you can see, this is the length, which is x plus 7, and that's the width, which is 4. Now to find the area, we all know the area is equal to length. So that's the length, that's the width. Length times width, okay? So you need to multiply this. We give you the expression ready for you guys. So all you have to do is just distribute. So 4 times x, that's 4x, plus 4 times 7, that's a 28. So the area should look like that, but he got the answer 11. So what's the mistake? Obviously, instead of multiplying 4 times 7, he added 4 plus 7, he got 11. So that's his error. Okay, so you guys, you need to write in details when you see such a question, what's the error, explain what happened, and you need to describe it. Yeah, basically. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's move on to this question. This is a really important question. It may look difficult to you guys, but it's actually a piece of cake. It's similar to the question I solved with you on top. So here, as you can see, that's the length. It's 8 plus x. It's not only 8 meters. This whole side, as you can see, this whole side is the length. Okay, and this whole side is not just 8 or x. It's 8 plus, it's x plus 8, and that is your width. Now here they're asking you to find the, they gave you the expression, it's ready. Focus on this question, guys, it's really important. They gave you this question, it's ready, and they told you use the distributive property to expand it, to find the area, okay? So just in case you were wondering how did we get this equation, we got it from the picture of the kitchen, Okay, the length is not 8 or x, it's x plus 8, and the width is 5. When you put them together, you get this one. And now all you have to do is just find the area. How? By using the distributive property. So it's 5x plus 8. You guys are going to distribute. 5 times x, that's 5x, plus 5 times 8, that's 40. Okay? So see you guys by time. The more you practice, you become pro. You don't need to do 5 times. You can get the answer directly. You don't need to do the steps 5 times x and then 5 times 8. You can do it just mentally, and this is what we care about at the end. This term and this term. Okay? So, please apply the steps correctly if you want to get correct answers. Okay, here this question they're telling you, when does expanding and simplifying result in a positive? When that means when you multiply A times C, when do you guys get positive answer? Well, that's very simple. If A is positive and C is positive, because positive times positive equal negative, or when A is negative and C is negative, because negative times negative equal positive. So your answer should be when they're both positive or they're both negative. Okay, you guys? So that's it. So here, how does the value of the expression change if it's expanded? Does the value change? It doesn't change. Okay, with expanding expressions, you don't change the value, you just rewrite it in a different way. So that's it for expanding expressions. Wish you best of luck, inshallah. See you when I see you.